Welcome to Sound of Youth, where teens have a voice. I'm your host, Carmen. There's a quote that says, everybody has a story. So how do you go about telling your story? Well, today we're going to meet some teens that found creative ways to tell their stories. On today's show, we're going to take a look at a young filmmaker, Onelight, sing, and hear this young filmmaker's message of faith and hope. And we'll meet a group of teens keeping the dream alive with a very special tribute to Atlanta's first African-American mayor, Maynard Jackson. Don't go away. You don't want to miss this episode of Sound of Youth. Onelight Sing is seeking to make the world a better place for all people, one baby step at a time. Onelight produced his first film, Onelight, at 13 years old. And since its release, Onelight has received numerous awards and has been viewed in dozens of film festivals throughout the United States and Canada, and inspired thousands to change the world and make it a better place. Here's a look at Onelight Sing and the film Onelight.
The world is a very diverse place, yet instead of celebrating its diversity, we're growing intolerant of it. The USA is a melting pot of different cultures, ethnicities, races, religions, and ideas. But we often don't take the time or the responsibility to learn about each other. And as a result, we are continuing to live in the fear of the unknown.
Hi, my name is Onelight Sing. I'm 13 years old and live in Alpharetta, Georgia. Conflict in the world has always bothered me. Whether it's bullying in our schools, terrorists killing innocent civilians, or hate crimes committed against people that just look a certain way, or even the Iraq War, the Rwandan genocide, the Sikh genocide, or the ethnic cleansings of the Gypsies, Slavs, and Jews in World War II. This summer, I took a course on international relations. I believe that the source of conflict in the world is the fear of the unknown and people dwelling on each other's differences, whether it be between races, cultures, or religions. What do I do to change this? Where do I start? And I thought, what's a better place than my own neighborhood with my own neighbors? My goal is to bridge the gap of differences between my neighbors and I, and make a baby step to making this world a better place. My first step is to type up some flyers. They will contain information about me and Sikhism and my interests. They will also ask the recipients a few questions about themselves. I am now on my way to find out how my neighbors perceive my identity and ethnicity. My journey to celebrate the similarities start with my first neighbor. Sikhism was created over 500 years ago by Guru Nanak, our first spiritual teacher. India was burning under the invasion of the Persians and under its own caste system. He gave the message of one humanity, one God, love, and equality. He also established Langar, which still feeds thousands of people every day. He traveled over 25,000 miles by foot in all four directions, teaching people about one light through music and meditation. To me, being a Sikh means to follow our Guru's teachings and love and serve God's creation.
I have a question for you about your religion. I heard you say that one of the goals of your religion is to be godlike in his behavior, and my question is, who is God?
God is the creator of everyone, and we don't believe that God is up in heaven. God is within everyone, and everyone has the essence of God in their soul.
If we all followed our own religion, that is, there wouldn't be any need for conflict. Wouldn't have to be any conflict then, because our religions are based on God, one God, who's love.
We're only here for a short period of time, and if you really look at the big picture, it's not about money, it's not about what kind of car you drive, it's not about who your friends are. It's really you being a spiritual human being and giving back.
It's so apparent to see how we're all connected, because what is at one moment the breath inside my body, a few moments later can be the breath in someone else's body. I exhale, my exhalation goes into the atmosphere. If it's taken up by that plant right there across the room from me, that plant uses my carbon dioxide and then it gives off oxygen, and that oxygen goes into your body. And it's just such a beautiful way of explaining how we're all connected, not just as human beings, but with our entire ecosystem. Absolutely, the more people can be educated or taught to think this way, the better the chance we all have for not only human beings surviving, but for everything surviving. And not just surviving, but flourishing.
I agree that there are problems over resources, religions, and the environment.
So let's get past our arguments and work toward a solution.
And make the world a better place.
We are the world.
Sound of Youth will be back with more from Georgia filmmaker On God Sing. Stay tuned.
It says, Dol taram dea kaput, which means righteousness is the son of kindness. If people acted kind, nothing could bind them with ego, lust, anger, or pride. A string of thread won't save you when you're dead, and a statue of stone could not have a throne with the one great Waheguru. And if you fast and do not eat, your body will be weak. Then how can you speak with the one great Waheguru? However you pray, you just can't do it to get it out of the way. Through pretense or rituals, you will not get far. Since he is in everyone, serve everyone, and you shall be closer to the one great Waheguru. And that's only how you will get closer to the one great Waheguru.
When Ongat Singh was challenged to make a documentary about the Sikh faith, little did this teen know that he could change the world and tell a story through a camera lens. Ongat sat down with Sound of Youth to talk about his faith and his new projects.
I, started making documentaries a few years ago in 7th grade, going into 8th grade. That was when I made my first film. And basically what I did was I had gone to a camp a few years before, and my mom has this friend who's a Sikh filmmaker, and she really wanted, some kids to get into the media, and as Sikhs we don't really have that such a strong presence in there. And so she was encouraging us to enter an online film festival, and I decided why not. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to make a movie, and I learned about conflict. Now, what's the best way to combine those? And I figured out that conflict is something that we each can contribute to, and so what would be my baby step to making conflict better? And so I decided that for my first movie I would just interview my neighbors and educate them a little bit about my heritage, about who I am, about my religion and my culture. And so that was basically how I got into filmmaking. I don't even know if I took myself seriously. I think that when I first started making my documentary, I wasn't exactly sure where it would go. There was this online film festival that we knew we were going to submit it for. We were making it for that reason. And, I thought that would be the end of it. Okay, I made a video and there we go, we're done. But what happened after that was, really amazing. My mom, through some contacts and